is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe with NEVERsate.com. Today's video is going to be a cheat sheet. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what a cheat sheet is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a cheat sheet. Meaning that I take a very large, expansive subject that I have bigger videos about, and I boil it down into the most important parts so that you can watch this video before you go do that lift at the gym, get the basic cues, the basic stance, all the basic stuff that you need to know so that that lift goes better for you. But even more so than my normal videos, these are gonna come at you faster than normal. So if you do need more time on the actual explanation or the tutorial, I have entire videos about each and every just about exercise. I have total playlists about barbell tutorials, total playlists about strongman tutorials. So if you do need more help on the basics, definitely go check those out. This is more for the people who understand those things and now they're just looking for a real quick review to take to the gym with them so they can do better on that lift that day. Now the topic for today's cheat sheet is a question that I get all the time, and that is how to breathe for rep PRs. They know how to breathe for a 1 rep max PR, but they do not know what to do when they're going for a bunch of reps and how they can kind of extend that. Now I'm sure some of you picked it up, but I definitely just gloss over the fact that I am going to assume that you know how to breathe and brace for a 1 rep max. And if you don't know how to do that, you should go watch my breathing and bracing video now. But the basic idea is that there is lifting time and there is breathing time, and the two do not get along. Now, if that sentence doesn't make sense to you or you do not agree with it, you are leaving a bunch of pounds out there with the Loch Ness Monster and leprechauns. Good luck, buddy. So I'm going to go ahead and operate under the assumption that you do know what I'm talking about. And on this video, I'm gonna focus on the big 4 movements, talking about where and when to breathe and brace to get the most out of your rep work. And trust me, if you haven't been doing this already previously, then I can just about guarantee that after this video, you're gonna be able to get more reps instantly. And if not, I owe you a Coke. I'm also gonna be briefly talking about when to breathe and brace in your walkout and your setup, because most lifts are either made or missed in that time between when you touch the bar and you actually start moving it in the direction that you want it to be. Now, as I mentioned, I have plenty of videos talking about the walkout and the setup and everything involved with those lifts in depth. I'm not gonna go into that here. I'm just briefly gonna touch upon the breathing and bracing there because it definitely matters between getting a lift and looking very, very stupid. I guess you could still look stupid if you made the lift, because some people just look dumb. All right, so we're gonna kick this thing off with the overhead press, because out of all the exercises I'm gonna talk today, I would say that changing your breathing and bracing on this makes the largest difference as far as performance, because most people have not witnessed this or experienced this. And number 2, you cannot get nearly as braced as you can in the overhead press as you can in the other movements, just because of the nature of it. Wobbly. So a reoccurring theme throughout this entire video is going to be about getting your breath at the most advantageous position possible. And in the overhead press, you can never get as much air when you're in the front rack with the bar as you can when there is no bar. Science! So in order to remedy this, all you do is when you're standing in the rack gripping the bar, you get your breath and your brace there, you walk in, you do a quick 2-step drop, flex your butt, and you should be moving that bar. Again, that's all in depth in other videos. But the point is that you are not breathing until you have some reps done. So you get your breath while you're in there locked on the bar. As you do your setup and your walkout, you are holding your breath. As that bar starts moving, you get as many reps as possible on that single breath that you got before you unrack that bar. Now, for public safety, I do need to say that when I say get as many reps as you can, or as many reps as possible on that first breath, what I'm saying is when you were doing your reps and you realize, wait, I don't have enough breath to do one more rep, that's when you breathe. There are plenty of funny videos out there of people going to sleep on the overhead press, and you do not need to be one of them. So when I say as many as you can, I'm saying leave a little bit in the tank, don't turn blue. But let's say you got your breath, you unrack that bar, you got 3 reps. On that 3rd rep, you realize I'm gonna need more breath before I go on to big rep number 4. What I want you to do here is actually get your breath at the lockout of rep number 3. You don't rebreathe in the bottom of a squat or a bench. Why do you do it in the overhead press? So once your 3rd rep is complete, I want you to start breathing there. Regain your breath, take it all into your belly. This position is a very easy position to take the air into your chest. You want to avoid that. You still need to stick it in your belly, getting a 360-degree awareness of your obliques, your lower back, everything. You should be pushing it all out. But once you're completely full of air, you're gonna brace that down and then drop in for rep number 4. Now, most time when I do this on that very first recovery breath from lockout, I can usually get 2 reps on that next extra breath. So I'll get reps 4 and 5 on that breath, then I'll need to rebreathe up top again. Once I get my breath and I brace, I drop in, I hit it once, then maybe again, and maybe again. But one thing is for sure, if you are not already doing this, I can guarantee you, you have 2 to 3 extra reps in whatever overhead press you're doing and you don't know it. So you're welcome, but that's what the subscribe button's for. And now onto the bench. First, we're gonna cover the upper body, then we're gonna cover the lower body, but the bench has a lot of similarities to the overhead press. The first and most important being that you're gonna get that breath before you unrack that bar for the first number of reps that you're gonna get. Trust me, I also believe this for the 1 rep max on the bench press as well as the overhead press. I get my air before I unrack that bar, I complete the rep, and I do not breathe again until that rep is done. So once I've gone through the long process of the setup on the bench press to get as tight as possible, the very last thing I do after squeezing my hands and make sure my grip is set and I'm bending that bar is I breathe into my belly. Once I have that breath, I will unrack the bar, make sure I am set and steady and ready to go, and then I'll begin my reps. Now I will get as many reps as I possibly can on that very first breath. Again, when I said as many as I can, we're not being stupid because there's bar hovering above your neck. Do some, more than you want, less than death, right around there. But this one, honestly, everyone does on their own. You breathe at the top of the lockout position. The biggest thing that I would say here is to make sure that while you are breathing that you do not lose any tightness in your arch. You need to make sure that air stays in your belly when you're trying to catch your breath because you're breathing into your chest, your upper back's going to be moving around, and that is changing your tightness and your position on the bench, which can make a massive difference in getting that press or not. On to deadlift. Now the deadlift gets a little more tricky, and I do it differently than some other people do. The way I personally like to do it is get my air up top during my setup before I ever bend down for the bar. The reason why is because I can get so much more air in my belly before I collapse my diaphragm by bending over. For those of you who don't have a lot of powerlifting girth around the belly line, that can absolutely make a difference in whether you're gonna get that deadlift or not. Now again, for reps or a 1 rep maximum, it doesn't really matter to me. I set up and breathe the same way no matter what. However, a lot of people do not have their setup down, or they do not like the feeling of holding their breath that long, so they like to get their breath when they're actually bent over attached to the bar. Some people are strapping in, some people just like a little bit more time on their setup. Either way is completely fine for me. I do not feel that in this second position, you're able to get as much air into your belly, at least for me personally, and that's typically what I try to tell my clients and my athletes to do, is the same with the I can if it's possible for them. But if it's not possible, guys, all that I would say is make sure that you're at least pushing your legs up and sticking your butt up in the air to get as much air in your belly as possible before you drop in for that pull. But regardless, either way, when you're doing reps, I still like to approach it the exact same way once you're in the mix. So when I walk up to the bar and I get my setup and my mind right, I get a huge belly breath, I reach down for the bar, and again, I get as many reps as I can in that first breath. Now deadlift, I can usually rep out a lot more than I can on some of the other exercises, but you want to be as efficient as possible, but also remember, if you completely blow all of your air out on that first set, then you're not gonna have a whole lot to catch up, because deadlift is one of those things that just kinda like a bad guy in a horror movie. It doesn't matter how fast you run away, he always kind of keeps catching up. That probably made 0 sense. I should probably edit that out. Or not. But once I do realize that my little lungies need more air before they're going to do any more pulls, I will get my air at lockout. Always get your air at lockout. So basically what I like to do is on whatever rep that I know that I'm out of air, you'll see me literally breathing a lot, trying to get that air into my belly, get as much as possible, because whether I am doing a touch and go or I am actually doing a dead stop, I am holding my breath for that rep. I do have to say, for me personally, that helps me get a lot more air in my belly, which allows me to stay a lot tighter. There's less moving parts. It usually goes a lot better for me, but you do need to be constantly engaged the entire time during the set. There's no dead time down the bottom when you let that bar hit the ground. So if we're being completely honest, when I am really shot, that does not happen. What happens is I pull it, I drop it, I'm still attached to it, I get a bunch of breaths and shoot my butt up in the air, drop back in and try to pull it. With deadlifts, there's always a certain level of just kind of surviving there towards those last reps. So deadlift's gonna be one that you're gonna need to play with a little bit on your own, but I will tell you, if you are a strongman and you are doing a deadlift event, max reps in 60 seconds, then doing that breathing will absolutely help you get more reps. It will also help you puke a lot. Which leaves us to squat, which honestly, guys, I would say 90% of the time when people hit or miss their squat, it happened during the walkout and the setup. So I would encourage you to go check out one of the videos where I cover nothing but that, but I wanna talk about that breathing and bracing. Basically, the idea here is that when you're racked up underneath that bar, getting ready to walk it out, before the bar ever even leaves the rack, I get a huge belly breath, brace it down, and then I stand. Now, I take my steps back, I get completely settled, locked in, set up, everything is ready to go, and then I release that breath, do tiny little shallow rebreathes. But while I'm doing that rebreathe, my core never disengages, like little short Lamaze breathing. I also never completely let out that original breath that I got, because you're not gonna get that back. It's real estate that you're not gonna get back when you're under a big load. But I do force as much air into my belly as I can with those short little shallow breaths, and then I drop in for as many reps as I can. Now squats, typically I can knock out quite a few before I need to stop and rest. And again, being honest, just being real with you guys, Once you're tired on the squat and you're truly shy, you're doing like a 20 rep set and you're on number 16, you're just surviving. However, high rep squat sets also take a long time, so you almost start to get lightheaded because you're getting a little bit too much oxygen. For that reason, until it is at the very end of my reps, I am not doing singles on one breath. I'm at least doing a double, hopefully a triple, hopefully more. So if I'm doing a set of 20, that first breath, I'm hoping to get 8 to 10, then I'll get 4 to 5, then like 2, then like 1, however. Math, people, you know I'm not good at it. Just like my Espanola. But there you go, guys. There is a quick cheat sheet for the big 4 movements. As far as your breathing and bracing 4 reps, like I said, if you have not been doing this, I can pretty much guarantee that you start implementing some of these things, you will automatically be able to get more reps. I do have other cheat sheets on my channel. If you're interested, you can check those out. Or like I said before, if you do need some more explanation and tutorial, I have entire playlists covering all barbell basic tutorials as well as all strongman tutorials. So hopefully within that library of stuff, you'll be able to figure out whatever questions you have. But if there is an exercise or a topic that you do want to see me cover, please leave it in the comment section down below and we'll see if I can get enough knowledge around to maybe make a video about it. And a huge shout out to my boy Uncle Nick, who just got these shirts released, the Embrace the Suck shirts. They have this green shirt from the Loyal brand, as well as these tank tops. You guys see Uncle Nick on the channel all the time, and it's typically putting his body on the line to make you guys laugh, but he is getting ready to do nationals, to do worlds, to do the Arnold. He's got a lot of big competitions coming up, and he is going to fund that by t-shirts. So if you guys do like them, you like the message, and you want to help support Uncle Nick, go to theloyalbrand.com, pick yourself up 1 or 2. All the NEVERsate shirts are there as well if you guys want to pick those up. Guys, I thank you so much for everything you guys do. It is so cool. I am completely overwhelmed and just humbled and blessed that you guys do. I'm absolutely living my dream. I can't believe every single day that I get to wake up and do this, to talk to you guys, to hang out with my friends is just such a cool experience, and I could not do it without the support of you guys, so I thank you so much. I will catch up with you later in the week. Hopefully this was helpful. Until I do, go out to something amazing with your lives. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. I'll see you then. Yeah.